Okay, 29th of January. Welcome to the second last daily Ninja show where we go through ASX and US listed ETFs and shares. So if you didn't know, I'm going undercover, so I don't get in trouble, giving recommendations. So join up, subscribe if you want to continue. I'll still do a daily update, but there'll be no products. It'll just be indices, general market stuff. All right. So VAS. So our share market was flat. The tank. Solid day. Well, you guys can now see 0.3. Oh yeah. So that's. So in the new exclusive material, I'll be doing, because I'm pretty keen on this one, getting people involved with their super. Don't just tick the growth option. So Oz Super and Host Plus, you can buy ASX 300. So I'll be going through all the shares because obviously some of them have already ripped. So go through and see which ones are worth buying now. And I'll also be doing the Ninja ETF reviews to see which Ninja ETFs are good to go. So that's basically looking at, so taking the RERP, which is the ASX listed ETFs, and sorry, I should say that was the RRTP. And this is the RERP, which has Oz and US ETFs in it. Okay, so Aussie dollar, that's pretty bullish there for the Aussie dollar. Driven by two things now. One of them is this thing, which is the US dollar. Although as I went through yesterday, the DXY is made up of basically those three big currencies there. But that doesn't look good. I'm wondering if it's a bit of a bear trap. They like to do this, get everyone thinking it's going to go short, and then next thing it rips. Anyway, we're not playing the currency games very dangerous. Never enter. So our financial index was still capped by the dome. CBA, it looks like he's going to give up and come back down here, I think. So the other thing driving the Aussie dollar, so we've got the weak USD, and we've got our interest rates going up. So the US are looking at dropping rates. If Trump would make him zero if he had the choice. He's playing an interesting game over there in America. He wants to try and have everything, because obviously if the US dollar goes down, it becomes more expensive for Americans to buy stuff from overseas. But Trump wants them buying them from America. So he's trying to weave a needle here. Good luck to him. Got to like his wife too. So 1 year interest rates, so not good for mortgage holders. I have done a few vids back in the past, fix your rates. Anyway, so and that's because our inflation's not under control, thanks to government spending. Okay, ATEC, so we're out of that, thank God. If we get the chance, we'll have a look at those underlying tech stocks. So the switch, the MVR to ATX switch, I know someone who's happy who did that switch. So S&P 500, just flat, but doesn't look scary, so fine. Nasdaq doesn't look so fine. VGS getting a bit hammered, and that would be the rising Aussie dollar. So this will become an issue. So even for the ninjas that I have over in the US, but I think the regardless of the currency, the ninjas will still do good. But it's still, anyone who's got overseas ETFs, US based, even if you buy them on the ASX, they still got currency risk. So switching the tank MVR to VGS, you would have done well. Gold price. Oh yeah, I write notes now. Need to become a bit more professional. So I don't know if you got. I watched a YouTube video that came up from Motley Fool yesterday, and he's obviously not in the gold trade. He's not. Well, sounds like he's not in the resource, and he was calling gold a bubble and it's going to crash. Yeah, okay. And then I don't know if you know Marcus Padley. He's a pretty famous fund manager. Charges you 1% to set up to join his ETF portfolio, 1% per annum. And he's been sitting in cash since October. He basically made 20% last year in October, and he went to cash. So he's not in the resource space either. It is well. That's the thing. There's times when you don't want to be in resources, but like when there's a party in town, you go and join it, and when it dies, you move away, pack up. But at the moment, the party's still going. Aussie dollar gold, our gold index. So still got target up here. So the miners, actually I have to update the longer term target there. GDX. So this is the one you can get in Oz Super and Host Plus. I wouldn't be buying it now. And on the weekend I'll be doing the benchmarking of which ASX gold stocks have outperformed this. So you're better off trying to pick a stock or just buy the ETF. So GDXJ, that's the American one. In terms of the old Bright Stars getting a kick finally, I wouldn't buy it now. BCNs, it's good. These are in order of basically value as you go down. Like that's sells the cheapest, but he looks like he's going to struggle a bit there. This guy BGL's done well. There's the perfect setup, the declining wedge break. It'll go up and then come back here and test, but not all the time, that one. So he's going to be struggling there. The big fella Newmont, so he heads up the ETFs. And Evolution's the most expensive, but usually the big caps are. Alright. So Dr. Copper. Giddy up. So what's going on there? So we're approaching the top of that trend line there. So I've still got a target up here, which is this distance here. But it doesn't mean it crashes from there. But that's pretty strong. So the wire ETF. So I know if you're not in these, it's pretty hard to chase, and it probably is. So BHP, you can get him in your super fund, probably not now. Rio, DVP, you can actually get him in your Capstone, Giddy Up, and Sandfire. That was a good one the other day. CopJ, that's the American one. In terms of so these are the producers, the little ones, but they're cheap. So I'm trying to find something that hasn't run. This guy Hillgrove looks like he's made his break to freedom there. These are developers. CYM still looks good. CST, he's knocking. And Firefly looks like he's back on the road again. Uranium. You think we're in a resource bull market? So URNM. So that's headed up by this guy Kamiko, Kaza, and the Sprott Uranium Trust. And we got URNJ over there in America. That's headed up with this Triple U, Denison. And then we got our fella Palladium. He's doing a catch up. There's your declining wedge break. There's another one, little one there, break. So that's probably all you have to wait if you're not in for these things to do one of these things again. Although down here you can probably pick these guys up. Boss, Lot, Penn. So Penn's got a really long one here. So he may just go, or he may and then come back and test this support here. He is on the expensive side. And then developers, AEE, DYL, and Alligator. Very nice. Then Explorers, EL8, AEU. It's a bit of action in uranium. You can't get these little fellas in Oz Super. So REMX looks like it needs a. I'm not doing any green arrows. All right. So I'm out of these rare earths. Linus. Apparently Trump's not going to underwrite floor prices, and it caused a shock. So glad we're out of Aluka. It's just too hard, this rare earth space. Rare sounds like it's good, but it's not actually rare. Iron ore miners could do it, but they don't bother. Okay, so Lit P, the American one, ETF. I still think a pullback here would be potential buy if it comes back and finds support, but they were whacked today with the rare earths. So Pilbara was off 4.5%. IGO 5.8. Liontown. I probably still wouldn't be. If you're in them, still hold them. Like on the daily, they went down for no reason. So your last line of defence is probably the 50-day, or these price supports. So just then obviously nothing much else. Oil. Okay, so you can see oil's got these big long-term declining wedges to break. There was one. So much for green energy taking over. Natural gas, it's down here. Pretty volatile. So Karoon, he's got to be tempted to, because he is the cheapest. Actually, so you can. Well, I guess this is where. So we do a buy, and you just keep stop losses tight. Like if it closes below down here, then you get out. But it has got a nice little wedge break test. So Woodside, he's off. So Stowe's going to struggle here. So a pull back and then go would be nice. Beach. So again, he's got a nice little squeezy happening here. Yeah, down here was better. Then gas producers. So BAS, CTP. Again, you can see NYSE's building up for a nice break, I think. And QPM. So he's done another. He's had a few little. So it's a break and a bit of a test. So probably next move up. And the fuel ETF back home. Well, it's a bit of a shooting star. What happened there? But look at the underlying holdings. Exxon, Chevron, Shell, TTE, Enbridge. So they're the holdings of fuel. So I don't know what. I don't know. Probably someone. Yeah, I don't know. But I doubt whether it actually got up to that price. Okay, silver. Okay, so we're at all-time highs and we've broken a shooting star, which we know is bullish on our chart. So you got to wait for the US to open. Mr. Slammy comes in when the US opened. You can see these red bars. So he'll have a test. They'll try and whack him tonight. So if he comes back and then goes, then probably off to the next leg. So this is the silver price in China. So you got to pay 134 US dollars over there. So this is the premium. So the difference between the Chinese and the US price. So it's 15. So they're paying a lot more money over there in China for their silver. So SilJ hasn't. We'll get into the underlying holdings, but he's got to be ready to go now. Okay, so we've got this. I thought I had the holdings. Yeah, I do. This new ETF on the ASX, SLVM. It's different components to SilJ. It's actually the same as the SIL ETF, which we'll look at. So it's got your royalty companies. So Wheaton's the big royalty company. That's a big gold mining. Then Coeur. So Heckler's, for example, Heckler's the biggest holding in SilJ. But obviously it's a bit hard to. So I wouldn't touch it just yet. But it's basically the same holdings as SIL. You can see here this is SIL on the New York. So you can see it's the same holding. So it's going to act like this one. My preference is always there's nothing wrong with SIL or royalty companies. My preference has been SilJ. So this is SilJ over SIL. So you can see, well, over time it's been pretty range bound, but I think SilJ will outperform SIL, which is obviously why I picked him. He's a bit more leveraged to the silver price. And in terms of that, so this is SILJ over silver. So you can see SILJ is just, so the silver prices, you should have just been buying silver and not SILJ. So if you're on an ETP mag, you've done better than SILJ. Well done. But that's a declining wedge there, and this is because no one's prepared to buy these silver miners because they think the silver price is going to crash. Talking about ETP mag, which you can buy in your super. We can talk about that on the weekend. So SILJ is headed up by this guy, Heckler. He's your big pure silver miner. He came out with guidance. They're only going to do 15 million ounces of silver for the year instead of 16. So he got punished a bit with the silver price coming down, but so this is what's holding SILJ back, really. We've got Kua is the next big holding in SILJ, so he's looking okay. First Majestic and Endeavour, they're the other bigger holdings in SILJ. So XMAT hanging in there. South 32, so he's in MVR. You can buy him in Oz Super too, but it was better back here. Now our local boys didn't get very much excited. The only ones who sort of eked out a profit, so My Kitchen Rules. So you can see again, there's those declining wedges. It's, your cups. It's a bit dangerous to buy now. SVL eked out again. I'd say people buying this don't know that they've been trying for a mining license for about 1,000 years and haven't got it yet. BKB, so he's still looking alright. You can see there's a lot of red, except for LDR, but it still doesn't look exciting. Alright, let's try and squeeze in these tech stocks. Where are they? So ATEC. So this is an order of weighting in ATEC. So you got CPU. So he had a declining wedge break. And it was not that keen on CPU really. They make a lot of their revenue from interest on shareholder funds. Anyway, we'll see what he does down here. PME. So he probably wants to come down and test support. Wise Tech. There's his next level of support over. So it looks like there's maybe one more leg down for these zero. He's just broken key level of support. Car sales, so he's approaching support. REA. Okay, so REA doesn't look too bad actually. If he can turn up. T&E looks sick. There's your expanding wedge. That's a that looks terrible. Seek. Yeah, Seek just looks terrible. I just can't see, unfortunately, the job market in Australia being very good. 360. So the old boys on the, what do they do? They've got that YouTube show. They were saying it's a buy. Not yet, fellas. Aristocrat. That's, so you can see there's not much going on there for our tech sector. Alright, that's the second last Daily Ninja show. So if you want to get this type of stuff, join up, and looking forward to it. All right, see ya.